Hello everyone and welcome to another video with me, your host, Elementalist. Today's video is obviously going to be a knitting video, and this video was actually requested quite recently. I kind of twice, but this time I decided I would definitely do it. So this is a helical knitting tutorial, and first of all I want to say thank you so much for the amazing response that I've had on my first helical sock knitting tutorial. I'm just blown away, honestly, at the response to that video, so I just want to say thank you so much for that. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to handle decreases in helical knitting. Now, I didn't actually have a helical pair of socks on the go, so I just quickly cast this on. It's just a tube, but this should explain to you how to deal with the decreases anyway. So what I'm talking about is, let's pretend we were knitting a sock and we were doing the gusset decreases. So we'll be knitting the second last two stitches together. So you can see I've got a black stitch on the end, and then I've got these two that need to go together, but this one is also my changing color, and so how you're going to knit those two together and change the color, it might be a bit confusing. So I will just show you how you can do this, and this is also just a way that you can rearrange your colors and your stitches if you want to. So to start off with, we're going to do a normal decrease over here, and that's just going to be super easy. It's not going to be anything complicated. So I haven't started this row yet. I should be working with the black from this side, and that's on here on this end. So we just start. This is for magic loop. Well, this would work even for if you were knitting with double pointed needles. It would just look slightly different, but it would work. So what you do is you take your working yarn, so we've knit the first stitch and now we need to decrease. That is just as normal. It doesn't matter that they're different colors. You can still just knit these two together, do your decrease, and that's easy. But now we've got to work with how we're going to change these. So what we do is we just keep knitting as usual until our last 3 stitches before the end, or before we change colors. Doesn't actually have to be 3, but it's whatever you want. Okay, so now what we do is we swap as usual. We slip those first 3. Now remember, you're always slipping like this from kind of right to left. You're slipping like that. When you're slipping from your left needle onto your right needle, you're slipping through that direction. So now what we do is we knit a few stitches. Oops. You notice we haven't done the decrease yet on this side. So we just knit a few more stitches. Turn your work if you need to. Obviously, if you're not doing a sock, you might be doing your decreases in a different place, and you might not need to go onto the next side of your sock. It doesn't really matter how many stitches you do. I'm just going to do about 6. We've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to actually slip backwards again, and this time, because we're moving the stitches from our right hand needle onto our left hand needle, we're going to slip this way. Oops. You can kind of stick it through the back, is fine. But don't do it, if you do it that way, you're going to twist your stitches. So make sure, it's even more difficult to do it that way. So make sure you're doing it in the correct direction. Okay, and then we pull this other cable back, or obviously it's different if you're doing double pointed needles. but we're going to pull this one through, and then we're going to turn back again onto this side. So this is not your usual direction of turning. And we thread this one back through. Oops. Get that on there. Then we pull your left hand needle back out again. That's right. I've got two at once, but that doesn't actually matter. You can slip two at once. And we're slipping all the way back to our black thread. So now we've got our black thread and we're ready to pick up, and we're going to go work with the black thread, or your your main color that you were working here. You work back to this one. Now I'm actually ready to work those decreases here, because the change of color, we've now forced it to be 6 stitches on. So now I can work this decrease as usual and work that last one, and then you can turn again. So it's a little bit of back and forth with this one. And now we've got these here, so I'm going to go forward a bit more because I like to be 3 stitches before I continue. Obviously did more than 6 there. Pick up the black thread. Whoops, where's it gone to? There we go. I'm going to work another 2 stitches. And now we're ready to just continue as usual. Slip your last 3 stitches and then continue working in this main color all the way right round clockwise until you get to where you're going to start and swap again. So that's now your you don't have any color changes in your decreases, and you can just continue working. And if you hit another point where your decreases are going to have a color change, then you just do what I did, where you push the stitches, you just swap the colors a little bit, and then you basically force your color change to be in a different area. So that's pretty much all you do, and this will work. It doesn't have to be socks. I kind of figured out this method because I was knitting socks, but even if you were knitting like a sweater or anything that you were knitting, if you need to do a color change, or I don't know, there might even be something else. It might not be decreases. You might be working some other sort of stitch where it's not ideal to have the color change at that point. You can just slip your stitches to force your color change to be in a different position, and that should fix most of your problems. Like I said, I've only done this for socks, and so my only issue has been with the decreases in the gusset. But I'm sure that you could use the same method for lots of other tricky points in helical knitting, because helical knitting is not just used for socks. It's also used, even when people are using the same color, it might not even stripe, but if they're using 2 balls from different dye lots that they don't want to have striping, then they might do this sort of thing. And then again, you might have an issue where you don't know what to do when your color change is at the point of a decrease. But yeah, so that was just a little tutorial. I hope that made sense. Please let me know if something I said wasn't clear and you need more instruction, or you need me to explain it a different way, but I hope that that made sense. And I hope this video helps you. Thanks for watching. Enjoy. Bye.